Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching and listening to Real Talk with Ronnie, with your host, Ronald Lynn. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Real Talk with Ronnie. On our show today, we have a real treat. We have Miss Gail Horton, who is running for District Assembly for District 38. You're running for State Assembly in 38.
I am.
So welcome to Real Talk with Ronnie.
Thank you, Ron.
So this is your first time on our show, right?
Correct.
Why don't you give our viewers a little rundown on who exactly is Gail Horton?
Okay, Gail Horton is a mom. I was a wife until I became a widow. I'm a teacher, I'm a friend, and I'm a very committed citizen and hoping to make things better in the state of New Jersey and District 38.
Okay, so right now we are at your campaign kickoff event, right?
Yes.
As of this filming, it's a Sunday morning. And where are we right now?
Okay, we're in a place called Realty One. It's in
Okay.
Paramus on Midland Avenue and From Road. And it's very unusual
Right.
surroundings, you might notice.
But I love the backdrop.
I do
Great
too.
Gatsby, right?
I do too. It's a little Gatsby and a little Western, a little mix of everything, but it's got a great decor and it was a perfect party.
Right, yeah. And you had a sold out crowd, right? It was like
did.
a lot of people,
I
like
did.
What, 50, 60?
I did. We had
On
standing
a
people.
Sunday morning too. So, I mean, that's really impressive.
Absolutely. I did consider the, churches in
Mhm.
the area. They have 10:30 masses and
Right.
some have 12 or 11. So I wanted to make sure everyone could come that wanted to come.
Right. All right. So, Gail, why don't you tell us who exactly is Gail Horton? Tell us about your upbringing, your background. Now, did you grow up in Bergen County?
I grew up in Bergen County, lived in Clifton most of my life, and met my late husband, and we moved to Lodi, New Jersey. We had our son when he was 5. We moved to Paramus, New Jersey, specifically because I love the school system here, and he had a great education. We were a blue ribbon school at that time, and he had a great education. I'm very happy to say that things worked out well there. He now has his own business, which he does online. And unfortunately, I became a widow very young.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I became a widow at age 45. My husband passed away from cancer. And I grew up as a very committed Italian American. My parents were born in this country. All of my grandparents were born in Italy, and we were pretty strict. We had some pretty strict rules in our home, and very good morals. We didn't make mistakes too often because we knew the consequences wouldn't be great.
Now, with the consequence, would it involve sort of like a wooden spoon, or?
Well, actually, on my big brother, who probably my mom broke several wooden spoons on him. It would involve a wooden spoon on my brother, but it was more of a joke because he was a big guy, and they'd laugh as they chased each other around the home. For me, it was a lot of grounding, staying home, and I was always a very social person, so that really was a very difficult thing for me. I think I'd rather have chosen the wooden spoon. So moving forward, when I met my husband, we were together for about 2.5 years, decided to get married. And again, I was starting to say he did pass away prematurely. And I needed to do something to stay in the town of Paramus because I love Paramus. And I didn't want my son to lose his home as well as his friends and other things since he just lost his dad. So I worked a lot of hours. I was left with a building and a business that was in the red at the time. So I got some part-time work. At that time, I was working for Bergen County Special Services School District. My career there lasted 26 wonderful years. I loved my job, but I had to supplement. So I did some after-school programming, and I had myself trained in the ABA method, which stands for Applied Behavior Analysis, which is how you teach an autistic child. And I had clients, and I was working probably 7 days a week. very hard, and the budget was tight. So I mowed my own lawns and
Oh,
shoveled
wow.
my own snow down there, and ran his business as best I could, along with my full-time job. So, in essence, I had three jobs, but I was driven to keep my home.
Right. Well, actually
and not,
four, right? Because you're also mother. So that's the
that's the
toughest
biggest
job of
and
all.
most important
Right.
job, and I'll say that till today.
Mhm.
He's 40 years old now. It's a great, motherhood is probably a very rewarding and it's stressful.
Right.
So we did all we could do to make things work, and it did. So I proud to say I remain with my home in Paramus. He now has moved to Florida and loves it there. And I miss him, but he comes to visit now and then. So I think you probably have a question. I'm sorry, I'm
Well, no,
rambling
no.
on.
I mean, this is an interview about you, right? So, okay. So, being in the education field, right? Was that one of the motivations that made you want to run for assembly this time?
Absolutely.
So, Gail, you've been in the education world for a long time, right?
26 years.
What is the proudest moment?
Proudest moment of my life was when I received actually 2 awards. I got one award for, the biggest award was from the state of New Jersey, from the New Jersey Education Association, who named me Paraprofessional of the Year for the state. Prior to that, I was nominated for the district, and I won for the district.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. And then nominated for the county, and I won for the county, and then I went on to win for the state of New Jersey. And I also got some acclamations from at a board meeting because I saved the life of a child.
Oh, wow. How?
Yeah. Well, it was a child that was very withdrawn.
Was he choking or?
No, it wasn't. It was more of a psychological issue. He was planning a suicide.
Oh, wow.
He did not confide in anyone in the school, including the teachers and the psychologists, and I referred him several times, but we had a bond, and it was a really good bond. And he came to me and told me he had a plan. And whenever a child has a plan, then we know it's a serious situation. A lot of children might say, in retrospect, they might throw off some words that are alluding to the fact that they're unhappy or they want to do something different or hurtful. But he did say he had a plan. And
now, did his plan involve just hurting himself, or was he going to hurt other kids too?
It was himself, and he had a certain knife in his kitchen that he was going home to take out of the wooden block and hurt himself. And he knew about cutting his wrists. He was a young child, maybe 11, but knew exactly, showed me exactly where
now,
he would cut.
Did he have like attentive parents or?
He had parents that I believe were attentive, but a bit overwhelmed. They had several other children who had some other emotional
7 other
issues.
children. So
several, not 7.
Several. Okay.
So he did confide in me and said, "Please don't tell anyone." And I had a long talk with him, and he cried, and I cried.
Right.
I said, "Look, this is something that you need to address because I will never lie to you. But you need more help than what I can give you at this point."
Now, do you think by telling you that was sort of his way of sort of like reaching out to get the attention that
I think so.
he needed?
I think so in the end. But I was so happy that he was feeling comfortable enough to tell me, and that was a very good moment for myself too. And he went out on to do some good things.
Okay, great. Do you guys still keep in touch?
I do not keep in touch with him. I've lost a little contact with him. But I have another student that was a success story as well. So I keep in touch with him a bit. And as a teacher at that time, we could not trade phone numbers or anything like that. But once I was out of the school system and he was out, we were able to do that.
So as an award-winning educator, right, that's what drew you to a public service, right? The kind of public service that you're seeking now is a little bit different, right?
Absolutely.
And well, first of all, is this the first time you're running for office?
It is not. I ran once in 2017. Was not successful.
For which position?
Also for assembly.
Okay.
It was very unknown.
In 2017?
17, yes. I was unknown then, but it was a shot, and I got my feet wet. I tried everything possible to win, and I did very well in the terms of vote getting. but I did not succeed.
Okay. So 2017. So would it be fair to say that from that point on, you caught the political bug?
I did.
Okay.
I really did. I continued to go. I was a county committee member for many years. I belonged to the Paramus Republican Club for 23 years, and I enjoyed politics and I enjoyed helping. And I helped a lot of my town people, my council people run and walked and distributed information and made phone calls and did everything I could to help them. And
now, is it true that, because the rumors are that you and Paramus Councilwoman, Jeannie Weber, are the bad girls of Bergen County politics?
Well, we've been called Thelma and Louise by several people in the organization and out. And yes, we do travel together, but we're good bad girls.
Right. Yeah.
We're a team. We're an effort together, and we do pretty well.
Two mischievous blondes, right?
Absolutely.
Of Bergen County.
So I don't mind the reputation. It's a decent one. I'll take it.
All right. Now, so being an educator, now you're moving into politics, which is a rough and tumble kind of world, right? Do you find that politics is a lot more difficult than being a teacher?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
It's a different venue, something that's new to me.
Right.
I was very comfortable in the teaching world, and I'm a very nurturing individual. And children were always my love. God gave me one child, and I would have liked to have more.
Right.
But perhaps God knew better because I became a young widow.
Right.
So,
and
yes,
plus, I mean, you have so many students. So in a way, you've got many kids, right?
I have many kids.
Right.
They were my kids.
Right.
They were my kids. So, yeah, I enjoyed that life, and I'm enjoying this, but it's difficult. I'm learning a lot. I am discovering things that I never knew, researching things I was not familiar with, and it's a great learning experience.
Now, politics is very different than teaching. So why did you decide to jump over and run for office?
I think, at this point, I think I jumped over because the issues on hand right now, currently, are quite upsetting to me. I know that a good deal of my opposition are looking to promote a curriculum that's not sitting very well with me. And I understand that.
Now, are we talking about the CRT or?
Both.
Both?
The CRT issue is one that I've researched very well. It's a very confusing topic. So if you don't know about it, it's a little difficult. But, I was married to an African-American man. We had a wonderful marriage until he passed away. And I was able to research my relatives, which are some of his relatives. I did some soul searching with every religion, race, creed. I'm a very multicultural person, and I love culture, and I think we all learn together and grow together by being one unit. And I enjoy a lot of the extracurricular activities. But the questions I posed to them about the curriculum, there was no one that agreed that this was beneficial in the school.
Well, you mentioned that CRT is kind of complicated, right?
Very.
If you had to just kind of boil it down in like a nutshell, so someone who hasn't really done a lot of research on CRT, how would you explain what CRT is all about?
Okay, I think the basic teaching is that, although, like I said, it's very involved, what it boils down to is holding us accountable. When I say us, I guess corporate white America, for the ills of our ancestors that were brutally unfair to African Americans. And the teaching actually, I believe, teaches that you are as valuable as the color of your skin, and that we are responsible as white America. We are responsible. And so, in essence, a child of color is going to feel very put down and very low on the totem pole, and a average white American student is going to feel that
kind of guilty.
Yeah, very guilty. And I believe we've moved so forward, Ron. We're stepping ahead. This is a way of stepping backward.
Right.
And a lot of the teachings that are in the curriculum, what I've researched, are not true, and some of it is, some of it isn't. You know, it was a horrific time. Slavery was a horrific
Oh yeah,
thing.
of course.
But we need to move forward
Okay.
in a positive way that our youngsters can understand. And teaching of Black history is very important in school, but do it the proper way.
Hmm. Now, aside from CRT, what else do you find troubling or that's not to your liking in the education system today?
Okay, so the bill 4454, which is about CRT and sex education, is targeting children as young as 6 and 7 years old, second grade, and teaching them alternative lifestyles for growing forward and going forward. They're offering a curriculum, including a chance for a student who's maybe on the fence about his sexuality, an option to take hormone blockers that would give them more time to decide without parental permission. That upsets me. Parents
Right.
need to be involved. Parents need to be the teachers of this, not the teachers. And my friends, and I have many friends who are teachers, are feeling the same way. They're feeling like it is a parent's job. If they have to do it, they will to the best of their ability, but they're not really equipped to do that.
Right.
They probably would refer the child anyway to the school psychologist. I think every school should have on staff a few psychologists and psychologists, and that's very important. You know, these children are very young. I mean, to start putting things in a child of 6 and 7 years old in their minds about their own sexuality is way too premature.
Right. Now, is your issue with this gender teaching the fact that they're teaching children too young, or the fact that they're teaching it at all?
No, I think first of all, the age is absolutely inappropriate.
Okay.
Absolutely. Teaching it later on, I believe, is a good thing.
Now, later on, as in when, like in middle school, high school? Or?
I look at it, you know, the curriculum to me that I've viewed looks like it's more for a late junior high school student and maybe high school student. I believe there should always be an open door and maybe a lesson or two to say, if, you know, you're feeling confused about X, Y, and Z, or I can't answer some questions, you know, we absolutely will have a psychologist speak with you or a psychiatrist speak with you and help the child, you know, decipher what they're feeling and their feelings.
Okay.
What their feelings are.
Now, aside from education, which is something that you feel very, strongly about, what are some of the other issues that you want to campaign on?
Okay. Another issue is I've worked with an autistic young lady since the time she was 8 years old. She's a blessing in my life. She is now, tomorrow she'll be 32 years old.
Wow.
And she's very fortunate. She has very loving and caring parents and family. And they are able to, or they were able to facilitate a home, opening a home to house her and several other young ladies and have a proper setup for them to grow forward and go forward and care. And they're very realistic people. You know, they're older people. And as myself, I'm not a youngster. They're looking at.
Yeah, you are.
Well, thank you, Ron. That's why I like you. Looking forward, you know, they're going to pass away one day, and they need care. They need proper care. Where if they were to pass away before anything was set up, she'd become a ward of the state and probably thrown anywhere in any home. And a lot of these homes are not equipped to help these children, and there's not enough homes. There's certainly not enough. So the autistic population, as we see, is rising every year. There are other disabilities that are rising in record numbers every year. What will happen to these young adults? They need to be somewhere.
Now, let me just ask some, and you may not know this because you're not a scientist, right? But why are the cases of autism like rising every single year?
You know, there's a lot of controversy on that. I think years ago, people used to believe, or they were told by some of their physicians or pediatricians, that giving their child a vaccination could perhaps spur this on. And I personally know a teacher who did not have both of her children vaccinated because her sister's children were on the spectrum, and both of her children are autistic. So I don't believe vaccination comes into play at all here.
Oh, so she did not get her kids.
She did not.
But both her kids are also they're autistic.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
The latest I've heard is if a woman's immune system is compromised,
Right.
there's more of a chance. If a dad is older, there's more of a chance that that may happen, more percentage wise, but nothing's been proven yet.
Right.
So that remains to be seen.
All right. So aside from the education, your student who has autism, what else is on the forefront of your campaign?
Well, I think that seniors are really in need of help. A lot of seniors are. It breaks my heart to see people choose between food and medicine.
Right. Something that no one should ever have to choose, right?
Absolutely. We're here in America. It's a great country. I love my country. But I think that funds need to be appropriated better. I believe there is room for improvement there. And breaks for taxes for seniors and taxes for people in general. New Jersey is very highly taxed.
Oh, yeah.
And we know there's
and especially within Bergen County, we're the highest tax county, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, we know our Governor Murphy, has made a statement that if you don't like the taxes, get out of New Jersey.
Right.
It's very difficult for most people, especially if they can't afford to pay the taxes to begin with. Where will we go? What will we do? And that's heartbreaking to me. A lot of families that I know, their children have moved to different states. My son, in general, his friends and himself, Mom just can't afford to live here. It's very difficult. So of course I said, come live with me, but that's not, what he wants to do. So.
Right. Now, currently in the U.S., in every single state, really, there's a lot of partisanship, right? It's impossible to talk to someone from the other party. Why do you think that is, and what is your solution to try to curb that?
I think people tend to become a little so inbred in the way of their political party that they lose sight of what's really happening.
Right.
And there are times, look, no one's perfect. No party's perfect. And I think it's difficult for people to change once they get into the political scene. But I think it's very important to look at both sides and make an evaluation of candidates and policies, because it's not going to be across the board. It's not going to happen. So sometimes we have to think out of the box.
Now, having run in 2017, and this being your second run, is there anything you're going to do differently this year that you did in 2017 that's going to help you win?
Oh, good question. I'm going to try and enjoy it a little more. It is hard work, but I love it. I think I am going to sleep a little more so that I have a little more energy in the morning to accomplish the goals.
Right.
It's interesting. I do a list from Monday to Friday of what I need to do. And of course, I don't include Saturday or Sunday, which is busy too. And I get maybe 3 of the things out of 6 done. So it gets put to the next agenda.
Right.
But it's a tough road, but it's worth it to me. I feel like it's a calling, just like my students were calling to me, and they really were. Every time I saw a student succeed in one way or other, it really warmed my heart and made me feel that I did my job well.
Now, is there any advice you would like to give any aspiring politicians who would like to run for office?
Yes, research things and know that that's what you want to do, of course. Look at the issues, read up, research, but also use your common sense. Use your own brain and your own way of thinking. And I think that's the best way to decipher what's going to be your passion.
Now you're running in District 38, which is one of the most prosperous parts of Bergen County, right?
Right.
Paramus, which is the it's like the shopping center
it is.
of
That's
Jersey,
probably
right?
why I moved there.
Is there any specific issue that is unique to District 38?
I think overdevelopment.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of land that's being bought up by developers, and I know we need to progress and move forward. I think that sometimes we don't consider the repercussions I believe that our municipal services in some areas are being strained, fire department, all the medical facilities,
Right.
and our children, the schools. I think class size is very important.
Mhm.
We want to keep it to a minimum,
Right.
and so that they have a quality education. And I think the more expansions that we do, we need to look at other things. Also, our waters and things like that that will be affected.
Right.
So, yes.
Okay. Now, one last question.
Mhm.
What does Gail Horton do for fun when she's not campaigning?
Oh gosh, Gail Horton likes to cook.
Okay.
I like to bake. I like
When
to
can I come over
entertain.
for a dinner?
Anytime you
Okay.
want. I've known you long enough to say,
Yep.
come on over.
All right.
I bake a lot. Christmas is like I just bake, and I like to entertain. I like to socialize with my friends, and again, a lot of those friends are in the political world, like myself, and so. But I enjoy going out with friends and doing creative
We've got
things.
our illustrious councilwoman here in the background.
We do.
Sweeping.
Yeah, yes. Yes, we do. But
All right.
she's a good girl.
Yeah. She she does it all, right?
Right?
I think that
I don't
Prem
think-
is very lucky to have Jeannie Weber.
She is our wonderful councilman. I don't think she's realizing though that she's on camera right now. So anyway, I think, but there you go.
There you go,
She
right?
does it all.
Yep.
She does it.
Now,
Councilwoman
Gail,
Weber.
how would our viewers and our audience learn more about you? Do they go to your website? Do you have a website up? Or?
It is being set up.
Okay.
It's, Gail for Assembly.
Okay,
You go there,
gailforassembly.com.
.com. It
And
is-
Councilwoman, if they want to find out more about you, where can they go?
Hopefully not on any bathroom walls. Well, they can look me up on Facebook under Councilwoman Jean Weber,
Okay,
and they can also look under the Paramus Pancreatic Cancer Walk.
okay. And
I
thank
guess-
you for your guest appearance.
Thank you.
And thank you for waiting so the dust didn't clog my nostrils.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Ms.
you,
Horton.
Ron. I really
and,
appreciate
we wish
this.
you the best of luck on your campaign, okay?
Thank you so very much. It's been a
All right.
pleasure. My pleasure.
So if you want to find out more about Gail Horton, go to Gail Horton.
Gail for Assembly.
Gail-
On Facebook,
okay.
that right now my Facebook page is being set up. So
Okay.
Gail for Assembly.
Now,
on
is it
Facebook.
for the number 4 or FOR?
No, it's FOR.
Okay, so
FOR.
Gail for Assembly on
Yeah.
Facebook, right?
Thank you so much,
All right.
Ron. It's been my
Thank you,
pleasure.
Gail.
Thank you again.
Okay, and good luck, and I'll see you on the campaign trail.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you, Ron. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching and listening to Real Talk with Ronnie. To watch and learn more about our show, including ways to contact us and how you can be a guest, go to realtalkronnie.com.